All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another episode of The Truth with Ben Jokes, your number one political talk show. Governor Okpebolo suspends security chief, vigilante groups over killing of hunters in Edo. Now, for the umpteenth time, I have said that I condemn jungle justice and therefore I do not support the killing of the 16 in Edo State. However, we must stop playing politics with human lives. The governor of Edo State is suspending security chiefs and vigilante groups because 16 Fulanis were killed. But in these same communities, the same governor has overlooked the killings of many citizens of the state. This is totally unacceptable. If the governor has sworn an oath to serve the Fulanis, the State House of Assembly and prominent people of Edo should speak up and take decisive steps to end the senseless killings by Fulanis that are on rampage in those states. And the same thing goes for places like Enugu and the entire southern Nigeria. Fulani herdsmen cannot play this reverse psychology on us. They are the ones killing other tribes, not the other way around. And few hours ago, a very heartbreaking Fulani attack from the FCT began making the rounds. This is coming about 48 hours after the Uromi tragedy. And there is a sinister possibility that the Fulanis have started a retaliation move for the 16 Fulanis that were killed in Uromi because they actually attacked a boys brigade program organized by a church. And you know that is what they do. Anytime they are offended, the next thing is to attack a church. And concurrently, that update that is set to further ruin the economy of Nigeria came out of Aso Rock. Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you these videos. First one here is a video by an angry Nigerian whose community has been severely hit, in fact obliterated by Fulani herdsmen. Now she's hearing that the same Fulanis are trying to put killing allegations on people from other communities after 16 of their own died, and she exploded angrily. See the video.
Fuck all of you in the north. I don't have a village. The middle belt is bleeding. I do not have a village anymore because of Fulani herdsmen. Every day, Fulani herdsmen are unaliving people. My mother, we could not bury my mother. When my mother died, we had to give it 2 fucking months because the whole village was surrounded by Fulani herdsmen. Kogi is gone. Benue is gone. Every day, Agatu people are running from their village because Fulani herdsmen are attacking them. 2 months. When we buried my mother, we went to the soldier with the police. We did not stay. My mother is an important human being in that village. The first woman to earn an educational degree. The first woman to go to college of education in a village. So when she died, you would expect that the whole crowd will be sitting by my mother's grave. But what did we have? When we came, the village was gone. Nobody was there. Only few people had gone and were waiting for us. And if not for tradition that the body must return back to the ancestors, where the ancestors are, we would have not buried my mother in the village. We came, the grave was already dug. We put my mama inside grave, pray, and we got out of the village immediately because we had the Fulani herdsmen were coming. But Uromi 16, you guys are defending hunters. You're saying the gun is license. They went from Katsina to Port Harcourt to hunt. So you can go from Katsina to Port Harcourt to hunt. Did the state of Port Harcourt give those hunters an allocation site for them to hunt? Do they have approval from the Port Harcourt state government for them to hunt in Port Harcourt? Or people can just leave their states in the north and go to the south and the southwest and the middle belt to do whatever they like. Fulani herdsmen must stop. The government must stand up. The middle belt is gone. People will be sleeping in the night. Fulani herdsmen will come and attack people and unalive them and steal their properties. When did we get to that point? If you're fighting for Uromi 16, you must fight for the justice of the middle belt. You must fight for the justice of the Fulani herdsmen that move from place to place, unalive people. You cannot be selectively biased. You cannot come from the north and be pissed off that 16 of your brothers was unalive when every day people in my village were unalive and you said nothing.
You heard that. And without doubt, the jungle justice meted out on those 16 in Edo State is not right, but the attention that incident is getting from the government is far more, in fact, 100 times more than what the deaths of 200 people in Benue State or 50 people in Enugu or 35 in Ondo State will get from the federal government. And I keep saying it, that the APC remain the chief sponsors of insecurity in Nigeria. The kind of support they are giving these Fulani headsmen says it all. Headsmen have almost completely wiped out the rural communities of north-central states, especially Benue and Kogi. But I have never heard any strong statements from the governors of these states, the APC governors of these states. Neither have we heard a very strong statement from Bat himself. What a shame. And next video here highlights the failure of Bat and how he will be remembered in history. And this is coming from one of his best friends. See the video.
Suspending a governor, which the argument over it doesn't have that discretionary latitude empowered by law. And now I think I know the cases in the Supreme Court also. So I would like your take on his declaration of the state of emergency, but especially suspending elected officials like the governor, deputy, and the State House of Assembly.
I think it is very unfortunate. President Tinubu, I know very, very, very well. Though I've not been in the same party and all that, but we were together in exile, and he fought gallantly for this democracy. So a lot of us, his co-comrades at that time, are actually very embarrassed that we have a pro-democracy leader in government, and yet what we are witnessing is worse than dictatorship. And I've said this openly so many times. I've pleaded with him in open letters that please, I don't care. You can fail in the economy, no problem. People will forgive you and say you are not a professor of economics. You can fail in other areas, but don't fail in democracy. You must deepen our democracy, which President Goodluck Jonathan succeeded in doing, which Baba Obasanjo, despite the allegations and accusations of a third-term attempt, still managed to hand over power to President Yar'Adua. So, but now it is less than 2 years into this government, and we are witnessing crisis upon crisis just because some people want second term. God gave you what He did not give Abiola. God gave you what He did not give Yar'Adua. What He did not give Olufalaye. What He did not give Chief Obafemi Awolowo. These were great leaders. They didn't have it. Now you have it. How you manage it is what matters. I'm pleading with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, please don't kill democracy in Nigeria. Everybody who loves him will tell him this. I'm not asking for anything or anything, but we love him for his contributions to democracy in the past, which is fast going down the drain. You do not need to hand over your future to God's bit of clay. I've written this over and over again. Just hold on to God. If God says you'll be there forever, so be it. But don't force it. What I see now is an attempt to force all governors in Nigeria to follow him by fire by force. It is wrong. If some people did not allow you to try, you will not be where you are today. So leave these people, leave these governors in their state. If they are in PDP, if they are in Labour, if they are in ABGA, wherever they are, allow them to thrive in opposition. That is the meaning of democracy.
Chief, so are you saying by implication as well, so if we expand it further, he's saying that, okay, let me just ask, do you think that the Bola Tinubu administration is hostile to dissenting voices?
Oh, it's clear. That is too clear. That I'm unequivocal about that. It is very clear. And I can see them blackmailing everybody. Once you speak, I remember our governor in Bauchi State spoke the other day. By the following day, they had picked up one of his key officials, and taking him away. I remember when Bola Tinubu was being aroused by the Code of Conduct Tribunal. We all rose up stoutly to defend him. That you cannot oppress a man just because he's in opposition. That's why we are saying it confidently and openly. That Tinubu should not repeat this same nonsense that some people did to him in the past, that we all went against. We went against it. So today, everybody is afraid. I can't, I'm in the system. I'm 65. I must have friends everywhere. Everybody is dealing with Tinubu now with reputation. You see opposition governors, everybody falling over themselves to praise him. There is a story of how many Joba in Yoruba. People will deceive you when you have too much power. But watch your back. Just watch your back. Some of your closest allies, you'll be shocked what they will say behind you. And we know what they say behind it. So, but you talk to him, at least he will not say, oh, Dele, why did you tell me at that time? I'm saying it now openly to millions of Nigerians that people are deceiving President Tinubu, and he should not allow people to deceive him. He should just do his job. The only thing that can guarantee his second time is to do your job well. You don't need to intimidate anybody. Don't intimidate Peter Obi, don't intimidate Atiku, don't intimidate anybody.
You saw that. Dele Momodu is softly saying there that Tinubu will go down as a man who pretended to be a champion of democracy, fought for democracy but got to power and became a shameless despot. He has been a despot since his time in Lagos State. Now he's showing it openly at the federal level. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that move by this administration that is set to completely ruin the already damaged Nigerian economy. And next is that update on another brutal insecurity report from the FCT. Let's start by taking that update on the loans that are set to ruin the economy. Look at how the papers reported it. The World Bank is set to approve fresh loans totaling $632 million to Nigeria today, Monday, amid mounting concerns over the country's rising debt profile. The Punch reports the loans are to support critical areas including nutrition improvement and quality basic education. Information obtained from the World Bank's website on Sunday showed that the two loans expected to be approved today include $80 million for the Accelerating Nutrition Results in Nigeria 2.0 project and $552 million for the Hope for Quality Basic Education for All program. The loans are expected to boost the government's efforts to improve nutrition outcomes and enhance access to quality education for Nigerian children. Meanwhile, the World Bank had already approved a $500 million loan to Nigeria last Friday to support the country's Community Action for Resilience and Economic Stimulus program. The initiative targets vulnerable populations by offering grants to households and small businesses to mitigate the economic hardship they face. It is the same old story. The $500 million own, they said it is to be given out as grants to homes. But you and I know that no single home will receive a dime from anybody. That one was already given out, last Friday. Then this Monday, they'll be releasing the other ones, $80 million and $552 million. Everything together is over $1 billion within the space of 1 week. They said it's for education and other infrastructures. But we will be here 1 year later, 2 years later, still complaining about all these things that they have taken loans to fix. What a disaster. And Abiola here says, more hardship on Nigerians. International loans are always a strategy to influence the economy of a country. They actually don't want that money back in paper or figures. They want it back in minerals and in extended period of years at lowest prices. That is it. We are paying with our crude oil upfront to take these loans. And Olami here says Naira is going down to 2,000 Naira after this loan. That's exactly what is going to happen. And Nigerians are not going to benefit anything because the monies will be embezzled. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that update on that brutal killing from the FCT by Fulani headsmen began making the rounds. Look at how the papers reported it. Breaking: young graduate butchered, killed by attackers suspected to be herdsmen at Abuja Boys Brigade camping event. Sahara reporters. A young Igala graduate, John Johnson, has been brutally killed and butchered by suspected herdsmen in Zaina near Angwa Hakimi, Orozo, in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Johnson was attending a boys' brigade camp when the tragic event occurred on March 29, 2025, Sahara Reporters has learned. The young man had already suffered a great loss, having lost his father just last year after a prolonged illness. Zakaria provided details of this incident, stating that the boys' brigade had organized a camp for its members in Zaina. Narrating the incident, he said, "Unfortunately, rain was threatening to fall that night, so they had to move the children from where they were camping to a nearby church. When they moved them there, the leaders of the group, two of them, came back because they had packaged and put their load together. On their way back to carry the load, people suspected to be Fulani boys laid an ambush and attacked them. One escaped and one was killed as they ran in different directions. When the other boy who escaped to the village informed the people, they went back to rescue John Johnson, but before they arrived, the assailants had killed him." He further stated that the police were informed, and upon investigation, they discovered that Fulani herdsmen living in the area had fled. The leaders of the Fulani community promised to fish out the killers, but no arrests have been made yet. The senseless killing has left Johnson's family and the community in shock and grief. With no one to turn to, they are now seeking justice and calling on the authorities to take action. Meanwhile, the Fortress Ministry in Abuja has officially announced his death. In a statement announcing his killing, signed by Reverend Samuel Ikani, the church said he was martyred while standing firm in his commitment to the gospel of Jesus Christ. Well, Reverend, it is beyond just that. A lot of security needs to be put in place. The people all around that area, because since they've targeted that area, you need to be up and doing. The next church services in that area for the next 1 to 2 months or even 3 months, people have to be very, very vigilant. There was a brutal attack by Fulani herdsmen, and we didn't even hear a statement from army headquarters or from presidency, nothing, or from Wike, nothing at all. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. This tweet here by Fisher says, "Oh, you mean the hunters mistakenly beheaded a young graduate? Maybe they killed him thinking he was an antelope. APC urchins will defend this killing here and blame the victim for graduating instead of having carryover. But when the terrorists meet their Waterloo, APC call them hunters." That is it. It's all about this selective criticism and selective demand for justice. Nobody is saying that jungle justice is good. We are just saying that the right thing should be done in all cases. But will it be done when the APC are the chief sponsors of the insecurity? Mr. Spectacular here says there won't be any outrage because it is normal for this to happen. You will not hear it. If not that we are putting it out now and pushing it out because of this 16 that they are talking about. And this tweet here by Honorable Ola says, "Northern travelers at work." It is very quick for you to call them travelers. Very, very quick. You just conclude. Protecting headers that are disrupting the peace of the entire nation. And this tweet here says, "Herdsmen killing people in Nigeria is now normal. When people retaliate, then their guns become Dane guns. They become farmers and everyone starts seeking justice. Who is going to cry for justice for these young graduates?" So sad. He just lost his father not long ago and now he's dead. Then you think about his mother and his siblings. They must have a lot of hope in him, maybe to carry the family as he proceeds in life. But his life has been cut short by a group of bloodthirsty demons called herdsmen. But this is how it is going to continue in this country if the APC remains in power. I'm not even saying how to get them out of power anymore. Everybody already knows what to do. I am just confirming that this situation will not change. As a matter of fact, it will only get worse if the APC remains in power. If Nigerians want this situation to end, then they must get the APC out. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because of una. Now I dey here, so don't go away. Don't go away.